many times you have been feeling blocked? I cannot make it. This is very hard. I want to go back home. Well, this is the Newcomer Network. I'm Jocelyn Gilbert, and today we are going to talk about a change in our mindset. And today we are having a special guest, and his name is Michael DePeazer. And yeah, welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
How are you?
You know, every day is a new opportunity, and I feel like today, even though it's a little chilly outside, I just was ready and prepared, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
It's all in our mindset.
Yes,
Because
sure
I
is.
would say, no, I want to stay home, but you decided to come here with us.
100%. It's always starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind, I believe.
I am an immigrant. I'm proud to say I'm an immigrant because I am. And when I was talking to you, I felt that energy that you bring to people. And that's why I wanted to have you at the Newcomer Network, because this is an immigrant audience.
Yeah.
And we are all the time looking for different topics and of interest for the community and support them through information, inspiration, and you're the right person for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So before we start, I would like you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Michael DePeazer. I was born in Canada. My parents are immigrants, actually. One came from Jamaica, one came from Guyana. And, there's a lot of struggles growing up, actually. A lot of adversity, which a lot of immigrants could relate to. But I realized those struggles were actually building blocks. So throughout those struggles, I was able to kind of find myself through the mindset and just focus my area on specific areas of growth. And one was the auto industry. So I've been in the auto industry for about 21 years of my life. And that's where I really cut my teeth. But that's where I really realized that, look, where you're from has nothing to do with it. It's the action you take. So I was able to build myself to be a #1 finance manager in the auto industry. And then from there, I looked at my life and I thought, well, what do I really do? If someone asks me, what do you do, Mike? Do I say I'm an auto person? Do I say I'm a mindset? And I looked at my life and it was mindset. It was mindset I went through. So I decided to, 2 years ago, create my own brand called Coach Mike. And Coach Mike, what he's about is he took his pain and turned it into purpose. And there's actually a specific formula to do that. And that's something I do now. I train people on how to get out of their own way, how to not see limitations, right? My language isn't good enough. I'm just new to the country. These things, and overcome them and let them realize that this doesn't stop you. It's not taking action. So I teach people how to take action, to own themselves, to get to know who they are, and move in the direction that they're purposely given for. So I really love that work.
Yeah, and you mentioned a word that I can relate with, pain.
Yes.
As an immigrant, when you leave your country, you have that pain. That most of the time we don't talk about it, but our attitude, our mindset shows the pain.
100%. You know what? That's a word that I feel is often sometimes misused, not understood. See, when we think of good times, what does it offer us? Smiles on our face, good people around us. They say great idea to everything we do. But when you think of growth, it only comes from the challenging times. If you take away adversity, take away somebody's character. To me, to be here right now, if I didn't have adversity, I wouldn't have no information to share. So when we look at pain, pain leads to purpose. Pain leads to growth. Pain is a stepping stone. Without pain, we don't move, we don't look for options, we don't ask those hard questions. So somebody who doesn't have pain, they stay still. So it's one of those things that I learned to reframe. If a skillful captain wasn't made in calm waters, if you want to learn the skills, you got to start moving. Now, someone who makes no mistakes, they don't make nothing. So I encourage people, when you have pain, just understand what is it building. Because when we look in our life, we become these characters. If you take away the pain, take away the character. And when we start talking like that, people start thinking, okay, yeah, without this pain, where would I be? So the idea is about channeling that pain to the right area. So pain is a word, again, that we see in situations that, unfortunately, it's not always pain. It's a driving force. It's a catalyst to growth. Because I find the good times I didn't really do much.
So challenging situations that produce even more pain are the ones who are going to make us stronger, wiser, and develop the skills. For example, English. Okay, I'm not going to that place. I don't want to go to talk in front of many people. I don't want to attend that meeting because English is not my first language. It's not enough. So, but the more you practice, the more mistakes you make when you're talking, the better, and you develop even more speaking skills. For example, I would say, English is not my first language, so I feel afraid to talk. I will say, you multicultural, I'm not recording any video. I do Spanish content only, but the more videos I create, the better I become.
100%. It's about action creates more action, right? And also, like, I feel like if we treated people the way we treat ourselves, we'd be locked up. Because when somebody has a different accent or their English isn't great, the people who's listening to them, give them grace.
Yeah, you speak very well.
100%. They understand the concepts you're getting, but we judge ourselves. And it's that judgment that makes us feel not good enough. But at the end of the day, the only way to overcome it is to move. So there's always a pain to choose. One pain leads to you learning it, walking through it, and feeling gratification after because you accomplished it. The other pain, not doing it, you'll see it 10 years from now. It's going to come in and feeling depressed and feeling like you're not worthy.
But it sounds very good, but how can we do that? Like, how can we be kinder to ourselves? Just,
you know, I feel like it should be an obligation because our job is to grow, right? It's not to hold ourselves back. And often we're pointing fingers outside and saying this person's holding us back, that person's holding us back. But really it's ourselves. So I think the only way to do anything is to move. See, it doesn't matter what your thinking is, your belief system is, how kind you are, positive. Those don't make change. It's action only. Nobody could skip the steps. So anyone who wants to be better, they just have to go. I have a daughter who's 10 years old, and I share her these concepts, and it's the concepts that sometimes help people overcome it. I have one called the duck theory, and I use it myself when I started speaking because, honestly, I'm no different. I got limiting beliefs as well, but the core is I have them, but I still move. So have the feelings. I'm not telling you to get rid of them, but you still have to move. So this duck theory, what does it mean? When you see a duck on water, all you see is this. The head's moving slowly. But under the duck's paddling to get where it needs to go. So when we're in front of people, especially in a new situation, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in here, but nobody knows. So just act cool and calm, do your thing, because nobody knows what's going on in our interior. And you're going to find with that theory, you're going to make it through. So my daughter had a presentation, 10 years old. She was very nervous. I taught her that. After she came home, she said, Daddy, I did the duck theory. She was almost sweating bullets inside, but she held herself with some calmness. And you know what? It makes a big difference. But you still have to move.
I remember a person told me after a presentation, oh, Jocelyn, you did great. And I said, I was so nervous.
You see?
Oh, but it didn't look like you were nervous.
And that's the key. Nobody knows, right? So we know too much information.
Yeah, so that's something we could practice.
I think that should be daily.
You know, I'll tell something about a friend. We go to different events, and his English level it's really low, and he's laughing all the time, but he does not understand anything. And yeah, that's it. Go to places, attend events, talk to people,
100%.
apply to the job.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about jobs, that's something else that we block ourselves and we say, but I don't have experience in that area. But we have the skills.
100%.
So that's something that block us to apply to jobs and do other things too.
Yeah. Not only does it block us, I feel like we need to think more. See, when you look forward in life, you can't connect the dots. But if you look backwards, you could connect the dots. No matter what I did, maybe you could agree, when it's a major new thing, we always have a feel of nervousness. We always have a feel, maybe you could even call it fear. Some people will see this object of fear, this idea, and it will stop them from doing it. But look in your life. Every new thing you did, it came with that fear. But when you look back, you realize it was a liar. It never told the truth. None of our worst case scenarios happened. Some of the things we think, oh, I hope this doesn't happen, never happened. As a matter of fact, it was more blessings that happened to us. So, but when we keep going forward, And this fear comes, we keep buying the story again, repeating the cycle, going through and realizing it wasn't there. So I say to people, look backwards, and you'll notice that, ooh, it never creeped up. So that should give somebody the confidence to move forward, knowing that, look, you're telling yourself story. Now, fear, okay, someone might say fear is real. And at the beginning, I had to overcome fear, so I created a principle. Like, you know, math, when you do give the teacher the answer. So if you say whatever the equation is, the teacher doesn't want the answer. They want to see the work you did to get the answer, right? So same, when we have an idea of fear, try to produce the work in your head. You realize you have to make up stories. So fear is not real. See, we're 1 out of 8 billion people on this planet. Everybody has different ideas, multiple. So imagine us sitting here in a life where when we look back in our life, we might call it tough, but no, it was to develop skills in us. So anyone who has an easy life, they don't have nothing, right? So develop skills in us, and that's the only lens we have. So when we look forward, we're using that lens. All we're talking about is the doom and gloom, but when you think about it, that's one idea out of trillions of ideas possible. We're always locking into the negative, despite when we look at our own life, that hasn't happened. So I think people are lacking thinking. They got to look back in their life and think, and that's what empowered me. When I look back in my life, I realized, wait a minute, I never knew what I was doing. I always had just courage and a goal. And every time I had courage and a goal and I moved in that direction, the grass is greener where you water it. It's not on the other side. And I realized, no, only thing that stops us is us. It's the ideas we create, and we buy those ideas. And unfortunately, we're buying doom and gloom.
So you recommend more reflection, think about it?
100%. Because if we reflect, we'll see this power. We'll notice. Before 2019, I didn't believe in God or anything. But then when I had to leave a job and I had to decide what I wanted to do, I looked back in my life and I say, okay, what could empower me? I'm like, wait a minute. There was always a hand there. All I had was courage, and I had a direction. People came in my life right on time. Situations came as I needed them. In everything. 100%. If you look back, whenever you decided to move, resources came. You attracted them. So yeah, the goal is to really just move and trust into that knowing, and you watch how resources come like they always have.
But sometimes you don't see those resources. They come to you, but you're not able to see them.
And that's why it's trust and open mind. Right? Because as you move forward, people will come in your life. And honestly, sometimes we do close off those doors that are coming. So imagine asking for some opportunities. Opportunity comes for you, and you close the door. So my daughter knows that. She said this to me the other day. Daddy, when people pray, God doesn't give them what they want. He gives them the opportunity. So if you want to be better at your language, if you want to be better at patience, for instance, you're going to get a lineup. You're going to get a lineup so you could actually learn the skill. So it's just an amazing process. So trusting the process is probably the most important thing. And someone can't randomly trust. That's why I say reflect, look back at your life, and you'll see, look, you have more reasons to trust than to not trust. Because it was up to my goals and what I wanted, I wouldn't be here. Because what happened is when I moved forward, a door opened that I didn't even know was available. So you can't see them if you're not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another limiting belief is when people, okay, I will be in my community. I don't want to get involved in other communities. We're different. What if they don't like us? And when we block ourselves and we tell ourselves, we feel comfortable in this community, in the Hispanic community, African community, Canadian, only between Canadians, you are not giving yourself the opportunity to grow in terms of learning about others, but learning other things, because you learn from other people. And you have so many things in common with people from the same community. And it's something that it always comes to this conversation, because people feel very comfortable in their communities, which is good. But at the same time, you live in a multicultural
100%.
country. But people feel challenged with that.
100%. And at the end of the day, you know, I have this idea of comfort zone versus uncomfortable zone. A lot of people don't want to go into the uncomfort. But if it's comfortable, there's no change. So is somebody's goal to grow and evolve or to stay the same? Because to change, you have to go into your uncomfort. I realize something. My comfort zone is my uncomfortable zone. Because when you're comfort, you're not prepared for anything. Something happens and you get caught off guard. But when you're uncomfortable, you're always moving and developing your skills. You know, courage comes before confidence. And a lot of people aren't confident because you have to, there's a lot, we're capable beyond measure, everybody on this planet. But until we do something and see the outcome, we don't know how good we are. So it's important for people to move because then they'll see a consistent output that they're actually remarkable. But imagine before moving, we don't know who we are. So those who don't go into other communities and create those networks, they're keeping themselves small. It's not like their comfort, because it's never comfort being the same, right? But sometimes we feel this uncomfortable zone is scary. But when you think about it, every time you jumped in your uncomfortable zone, every time I did, it gave you the change, the desire, the hope, the newness, the confidence you needed. So it's important to be uncomfortable. Comfort doesn't pay bills. And that's how I see it, you know, especially.
And every time we discuss something, it comes with like being uncomfortable, challenges, pain, and we don't like them. But those are the opportunities for us to grow.
100%. Until I lost a job, when I got separated, when I lost another job, that's when I had to ask hard questions. You only ask hard questions in those times and you etch your path. But when things are comfortable, we sit there, even though we have more for us, we stay in the same place. If my job didn't downside and get rid of me, I would have stayed there forever with golden handcuffs thinking, oh, I have a dream, one day I'll get to it one day, until I was severed. Then I said, okay, now it's time to do my dream. So was that a blessing or a curse? Because I'm living the best life I ever had. But if I didn't make that move, I couldn't make it myself, because we have these ideas and golden handcuffs that I wouldn't have been at the place where I want to be. So what I'm saying is, if you don't move, life will give you a circumstance to make you move. Trust the process and follow it, and you'll look back years later and say, wow, I needed that to happen. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. There's something bigger out there that everyone is going to be pretty much safe if they take the move and water the grass.
Yeah. And from what you mentioned, something I can tell is that everything you learned from that process, now you're helping other people
100%.
to do the same. And this is a limiting belief. People think if I help this person will be my competition.
Honestly, if you want your life to double, triple, quadruple, help somebody else. See, I have a business that I do. My core business is training finance managers in the auto industry, and it pays me extremely well. I'm not marketing for it. I'm not making phone calls. What I'm doing is I created a GOAT mindset where I'm going into schools and I'm helping the kids with this stuff, the youth, right? There's a 4-step process that they follow. Every time I do that, my business, I get phone calls. Just this morning, I emailed someone in Nova Scotia who wants to do trading with me. I don't even know where they found me. So the great opportunity in this world is to serve. See, a lot of people are self-fulfilling. When you serve, there's something up there that gives you what you need, what you want. But it's servitude, right? Like,
Is it you're planting a seed and it gives fruit? Or you can call the karma, or you can call the boomerang,
100%.
or you can call
There's lots of names
God's.
for it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's real. And it's real. Those who know, know. Those who don't know, they're still kind of figuring it out, right? So a lot of my friends have seen my life grow, but I'm the first one. Anybody who calls me, they need a helping hand, I am there, because I realize the power in that. So my job is to serve. This is Coach Mike, is a serving Coach Mike. He's not a hierarchy. I'm not higher than anyone. I'm serving. I ask them questions because we all have the answers within ourselves.
Yeah.
So imagine having the answers within you, but if you don't ask the questions, you'll never take them out. So what I do is I'll ask somebody questions. Hey, you say you're stuck. What are you doing to get out of it? Oh, nothing. What could you do? All of a sudden they're thinking this stuff and they bring the answers out. But when we're stuck, we don't necessarily ask these questions. So that's why tough times, they make you ask questions. Okay, what do I really want? Where am I going with this? And this is where we start bringing things into the physical realm.
And I would add, that's great. And also thinking, do it because you want to. It comes from your heart, not because you're expecting something.
Yes.
Because sometimes we are expecting other people to be thankful,
Yeah.
or sometimes we are expecting to be famous or powerful or known. So I think I would add to that, do it from your heart.
100%.
It should come from your heart, not expecting something out of that.
1000%. It's hard. Look, when I give, I don't expect nothing back, because if you expect something back, it's not giving. It's a contract,
Yeah.
right? It's like some conditional state of affairs. But when you just give, look, my obligation is to God. So when I give, it's for Him. So I don't expect to receive, because the way I developed myself, not a lot of people did that work. So how do we expect them to say thank you all the time? They may need it, but they grew up different. So we need to know people do the best they can with what they have. They can hardly do wrong. They're doing the best with their belief system, what they have. So it's an opportunity for you to educate them, right? And I feel like when you get a certain level of consciousness, your job is to share that knowledge. Imagine going to the grave with all this knowledge.
Yeah.
No way. So my kids, the youth, that's where it goes. It has to go. We didn't go through troubles and trials so we could keep it tight and bring it to the grave. No, it's to share somebody the path. I grew up downtown Winnipeg, 70 Furby. I had to have the stove open for heat in the house sometimes. Honestly, that's my glory. Because of that, I got to figure out myself way, and I realized I'm coming back to the community and saying, look, it's not as hard as we think it is. There's a way to do it. It's not hard. It has nothing to do with where you're from, has nothing to do with the color of your skin, absolutely nothing to do with your language. Only has to do with your goal and you taking steps into the uncomfortable. That's it. Someone else will bring the resources.
It's not because of the way I look or the way I speak.
100%.
But not only you're not taking the grave, your knowledge, your ideas. Sometimes we have great ideas and we feel blocked. We don't, oh no, there's something that I cannot move.
Yeah.
I'm here. I don't know what to do.
And that's what kills people. It's not the feelings, it's the not taking action. I started training in an industry where training was free, because I felt, wait a minute, I can help people transform, because it's their mindset. They're making decisions for their customers without asking questions, and they don't have a process. So I had a hypothesis. If I could teach this, people should grow. Now, before I went into the industry to train, because I was making 6 figures, and then when I left my job and I wanted to go training in an industry where training is free and expect people to pay me, people thought I was crazy. But I felt that, no. I think I have a formula here. Now, remember I said we're 1 out of 8 billion people. Most of the ideas we don't even know, but the way we see things, no one on the planet Earth could see it the same way you do, because it's based on your circumstance and situation. So when you see a problem, you see it different. So imagine asking somebody, hey, what do you think about this idea? No, that won't work. They don't have an idea what you've been through and how you see it. So I pursued it. Now I'm booked solid. My training is, thank Lord. The idea is, what I'm basically saying is, you're not going to see the prize. You're not going to see the shining bright star. You're not going to see the checks. If you follow your heart, it's going to take you somewhere where you're uniquely ready and prepared to deliver. And the way you deliver it, it makes you a niche. It makes you unique, and people come to you. So that's why we can't lean on our own understanding. And a lot of times when we're immigrants and we come to the country, we're using our own understanding to say, my English is not this, so that means the outcome is this. Not the case. If we're that brilliant, we'd be winning the lottery. So every time, like I said before, we're telling ourselves these stories of how it won't work, but if we look back, it worked. So we need to just reframe things.
Yeah. And sometimes we have the idea, but we don't feel ready. I need to take this course. I need to learn more. And then when you take the course and learn more, you realize you need to learn even more, and something else, there's something I don't handle. I'm not ready because of the skills, of I don't have the resources, or my knowledge is not enough to start this project. So we're never ready.
I don't know if there's such a thing, but yet we're always ready, and we don't know it. So you know what 2026 is for Coach Mike? So I have a lot of friends, way smarter than me, but the acceleration of my career is unmatched. And I'll tell you why. I shoot first. Shoot first, aim after. You're not ready? Look, no matter what books you read, no matter what knowledge you need, when you apply it, there's a certain learning you have to go through. You could skip all the books and start that process, and you'll bump your way into success. So, 26 was for me, not New Year's resolution. 2026 for me is enough with the learning, start applying what you already know. Imagine asking God or praying to anyone for stuff that your own two hands could do, but you're not doing. So if somebody stopped reading any books, stop every book you read and apply what you already know, life will get ready. When you see someone starting a business, they got the website ready, the business cards ready, all this stuff ready. Those are prerequisites, but they won't make the phone call to their clients. They could skip all the website and stuff and make the phone call to their clients, and they got deals. So they're doing the wrong things. They're focused on the wrong stuff. They're preparing is easy. Saying you want to start is easy, but it's the action part, right? And there's only a few actions that build your goal. So we're focused on all the other stuff, having a busy day, but none of the actions that build our goal. So when you really look at it, everyone's life is designed to specification. Because I always use this analogy. People who heard it probably overheard it, but it's important. If I go on an airplane, and I go on a random plane. So I go to the airport, Winnipeg Airport. I feel around and I go on a random plane. Where am I going to end up?
A random place. You don't know where you're going.
Random place, exactly. You're not going to end up in Hawaii or some of the hot spots because you got to buy a ticket so you can get connecting flights. So random. Now, what if I went to the airport, I bought a ticket to Hawaii, and I gave it to the person, I went on that plane, where am I going to end up?
Hawaii.
No matter what. I won't end up in Chicago or Illinois. It will be Hawaii. People's life, when they look at their life, oh, how am I here? Where am I? What's happening? Where are you going? Guess what they usually say? What do you mean? So your life is designed to specification. You went on the random bus, you're getting random. So rejoice. Yeah. But look at the times you had goals. Look at the times you had goals. Look at the times I had goals. When you had goals, there's something about it that keeps you going towards it, and you attract the right people. When you have goals, you could say no to certain things because it's not aligned with your goals. So a lot of people struggle. They don't know where they're going.
I was going to ask you that. How can I have my goals? I have long-term goals.
Yes.
Long-term, medium, and short-term goals. I have been like that all my life.
Yes.
But some people don't have goals.
Yeah.
They don't believe in goals, or sometimes they don't know how to set up their goals.
Yes.
How a person can start with that?
Well, first I would say everybody has goals. Now, here's why. Yes, for sure. If you didn't choose one, it's random.
Okay.
Right? So they have goals. So pick your pain. Do you want the random one that's not going to give you what you want? It's going to give you random stuff? Or do you want the goal that's going to give you something? So people have to stop. And they got to think. I say a lot of people spend time studying and doing all this stuff. Spend a month, do nothing, but focus on where you want to go only. Once you find your direction, then figure out what steps you need to do every day, little steps that will build you towards that. Life is consistency, not intensity. And if you go through those little steps, by the time you know it, you're there. But without a goal, the same time's passing and you got nothing but randomness. So people have goals. If I ask someone and they say they don't have a goal, I say, yeah, you have a goal. It's random. So you better get one or have the random. Choose. But we can't complain because if you didn't set something up, well, what do you expect? Does the apple just fall from the sky?
Yeah.
Now, the beautiful thing is it doesn't matter where you're from. If I planted a seed for a rose today, in the winter of the winterest, I dig a hole and plant a seed. Well, eventually when the snow melts, eventually that rose will grow, right? So whenever we plant a seed, it's guaranteed going to grow over time, but we're always looking at it right now and saying, how could this get anywhere? But that's why reflection is key, because when you look back in your life, you see these things already happening. You see that everything you did, it didn't come out the way you wanted to. As a matter of fact, when you look where you are today, they're not grateful enough to know that you're sitting in multiple dreams you once had. See, even an immigrant who came to this country who feels they're struggling, they forgot that coming to the country was hard. They forgot they overcome one of the hardest things. They forgot that they set a goal.
Why they came here.
100%. And then they're sitting here and they're thinking, oh, how come things aren't working? Do you realize you're sitting in a dream you once had? Dream again. It was a dream that got them there. But it's only the tough times, war-torn, or reasons why we move, but we're still struggling. But see how something else forces us to move? But if we would have moved ourselves, we would have got it. So that's why we got to stop thinking too much, because when you think of all the worry, the concern we ever had, if we eliminated them, our life would have still turned up.
Yeah.
They offer no value, but we keep repeating this cycle. So the reason I am who I am today is because it does take time in your life to look back and notice this trend. Worrying doesn't offer you nothing. And actually discomfort or uncomfortness means you're learning something new. But we take it as uncomfortness. Oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and complaining all the time.
So
That's another
you have
attitude.
2 hands and 2 feet.
That's
right?
another attitude. I'm complaining
Yeah.
all the time, complaining and complaining.
Yeah.
In terms of, instead of, what am I learning from this?
And those 2 questions, they make a big difference. When you ask what you're learning, you take it a move. Complaining creates more complaining, creates more complaining. It's a snowball effect. And we're going to think it's society, right?
Yeah.
So,
It all starts with us.
you know what? It's an inside job. Who else is going to do it for you? See, growing up, we were programmed. The society programs us to be fearful and all this stuff, what you see on the news. So growing up, not your fault. But now that you're a certain age, whose responsibility is to reprogram you? Is the
Ourselves.
government going to come? So if we don't see things different, what's going to happen? So we have an obligation. So we either do the work or we don't, but the outcome is here. So that's what Coach Mike does. Anybody who reaches out to me, even on a non-paid basis, I help them realize the power that's in them and that their stuckness is in their inactivity. It's not in language, it's not in new immigrants, it's not in none of these things.
So thank you so much, Michael. I think this was a great conversation. We're hoping to have you again. But before we leave, we would like you to give your information so people who would like to contact you. For sure.
Definitely, yeah. So you can find me at coachmike.com. If you fill out an inquiry form there and reach out to me, I'll gladly reach out and give you guidance. I like to support the community. So it's not about paying me to do work, to share you. I'll share you these principles just by you reaching out and showing the first effort. So yeah, coachmike.com is where you find me. Or on Instagram, it's Coach Mike Speaks.
Oh, I'm not following you yet.
Yeah, well, we'll be following each other soon.
Yes, for sure. Thank you once again, and thank you to our wonderful audience, you Multicultural Channel. Remember, this is the Newcomer Network. This is a space of wonderful conversation where we all grow, because I grow in every conversation I have with my guests. I learn a lot. And don't forget to leave a comment, click like, and share this episode. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.